Hi guys, welcome back to the channel on my 1958 Standard 10 project. In today's video I'd like to do a thorough brake inspection. I suspect we got braking drags, that's the one. After a test drive the other day the car got a bit hot and bothered. I took the radiator out, I thoroughly flushed it because there's a lot of sediment in that. I checked the thermostat was working and there's no block cooling passages. But the brakes do seem to be sticking, we seem to be lacking power somewhat. So is the car being held back by sticking brakes and then overheating? So that's what we're going to try and get to the bottom of today. Spoilers, I've already taken this drum off and cleaned it up. The back hardware is in really good condition, so I'll get the camera in and I'll show you that. So driver's rear is in good order. There's no detritus on the wheel cylinder there. Just the seam's fine. I've just wire brushed the shoes there in good order. I've also gone around with the wire wheel of death on the whirly thing and cleaned up that brake drum. So this side's alright. So I'm going to button this back together. It just gives me a good chance to look at the rest of the hardware while I'm underneath the car. At some point we'll get in and do the U-joints on the prop shaft because they're greasable on those. Might dress the leaf springs with a coating of oil just to stop them rusting any further. But yeah, I'm going to get this side button back up. We'll have a look at the passenger rear. Actually, while the car's in this position, I'm going to do the driver's side front wheel because if you remember, this is the one we had the problem with before. Yeah, it's still dragging. Beauty of this is, of course, it's all been apart recently, so it should come apart again. Yeah, on there again. Well, it's reassuring to see there's no signs of any leaks. Wet and dry. Where's that? Oh, yeah. Like I said in my last video, I have got another set of hoses coming, so it might be prudent to change those at some point. Seems in good order. That bottom shoe's a bit thin, but we have got a set of shoes to replace, so yeah. I'm going to continue to clean this up. There's also another grease joint or greasing point around the back there, which I missed the other day, so I'm going to do that off camera. Right, back in a sec. I've just brought it back in because this little that little piston there wasn't moving the other day. That's now moving freely. I've managed to push it back in with a couple of pumps of the pedal. It's come back out and located into the shoes. So hopefully that's this side sorted. Right, near side rear. It's not binding, so we're off to a good start. But while I've got all the tools out, I'm going to strip it all down. I'll give it a good chance to clean it all up. May as well. Do a bit of detective work as well, just inspect the condition of the underside of the vehicle. So I don't know when these wheels will last off. It could be decades, but it's obviously been looked after. What is quite alarming is these wheel bolts weren't very tight. Right, let's get this wheel off. porch. I see the back of the tank there, it's good, nothing to worry about there. Managed to crack that one off, that's good. But that's somewhere safe, I'm not going to lose it. I can turn the drums by hand is handy. Means we're not going to fight anything getting it apart. So with a bit of wiggle this should just come off. Definitely, it's definitely doing. Hopefully, a bit of a wire brush and a clean and grease should seal this off. Lubricate the handbrake mechanism, that's all. Oh, Jesus. Right. This is in far worse condition, not worse, but oh yeah. Definitely had a wheel cylinder leaking, but there's no lack of fluid, so nothing's leaking, well certainly not at the moment. But we'll wire brush this off camera, get it all cleaned back together, then we can work on the front. Just check that cylinder's doing cylindry things as well. Back in a second, guys. Much better, right. So you've got two holes locating for the screws to hold the drum on, so that should just slide back on. So just to explain the cylinders, on the front wheels you've got two, they're what they call floating cylinders, and they align each other. On the back you've got an adjuster, so there is room for adjustment on the back but not on the front. The front sort of self-adjust, well I meant to. And on the back you've got the single cylinder with an adjuster on this side. There's a adjuster on the back there, it's like a little square peg, I think quarter drive from memory, and you can adjust that in and out to move position the shoes. Hopefully we won't have to touch them because I've just taken the drum off without too much fuss, so we'll see. Sometimes because you disturb things you might need to relocate them a bit. Yeah, that's miles that. So. So I'm going to have to adjust the shoes slightly. I'm going to just wind them in a bit and then back them off until they start grabbing the drum, which is what you're meant to do. So that is Now that's turning. I know there's obviously drag from the diff there, but I just want to wind them in a bit so they're a bit freer. No, I thought I could get a socket on there, but it's a square drive. I think I've got a brake adjuster spanner. I think Dave Tucker gave it to me actually, so 1 second, I'll go and have a look. Well, I didn't have any luck with the spanners, but I have managed to get a pair of pliers on the back, and I've actually gone the wrong way. It's locked it, so that adjuster is obviously working, which is a good thing. So just back it off the scratch the other way. What's that one? Right, that's now freer. Handbrake is working on and off. Obviously there's a bit of resistance there because you've got the drive taken out, but I call that good enough, so we'll get the wheel back on this side and have a look at the last side, which is the front near side. Good times. It's got to be time for a cup of tea. So I've just greased all the points on the suspension. No issues on this side either. Good times. Okay. Lovely. Beautiful. Okay. Not as bad as the back. Had a bit of a wee brown trouser moment there for a second because couldn't get the piston to move on the inside there, so with the drum off I pumped the pedal a couple of times, and what do you think happened? The piston cylinder shut itself, popped out, spilling brake fluid everywhere. So I've cleaned it up as best I can and put it back together. Well, I've done any long-term damage I don't know, but whether I've done any long-term damage I don't know. But I'm now going to pump the pedal again, see if the shoes realign themselves, and more importantly see if that leak stopped, because it was chucking fluid out. Not good time. I'm going to pump the pedal, you keep an eye for brake fluid. If it is going to leak, it'll leak from this side. Right, 2 seconds guys. Well, I've got the pedal luckily and I can't hear a leak. I mean, the last time I did it with the drum off, it went pop like that, and I could actually hear the brake fluid going psh, psh, psh. But I think we're good to go, so I'm going to refill the reservoir because it's obviously bound to have lost a bit of fluid. I'll clean all this up, put the wheels back together and take you for a test drive. And fingers crossed it doesn't get too hot. I really hope that's the problem. So I'm out for a little test drive, and as you can tell, or probably hear, the exhaust is now blowing. Good times. I've had a look underneath. There's a repair that's been done to the downpipe that meets the middle box. That's why the old timer had an exhaust in the boot. It was another job on the list to do. I think I'm getting a sense of this old timer now. The last thing I think he did on this car before he was forced to stop for whatever reason was the brakes, because they all seem fairly new. Right, so I managed to park somewhere in town. I'm going to walk up to Morrison's and get some sausage rolls. But I digress. I think the next job that we need to sort out is once we sorted the cooling issue, of course. Oh yeah, going back to that. Yeah, it got a bit hot and bothered on the run the other day. Not too sure what was causing it. But I've had the radiator out, I thoroughly flushed it, changed the antifreeze because that was looking rather poor. So it's got fresh antifreeze in it. But after a run of about 15 minutes, it started to overheat and it actually boiled over. So I suspect it partially blocked passageway somewhere. I'm hoping it's not the head gasket. That'd be the worst case scenario, but they're not the end of the world to do on these. But something I'd like to avoid if I can get away with it. So I'm going to thoroughly flush the cooling system again. I know the heater matrix isn't blocked before people start suggesting that, because the water's fed from the engine block to the heater, because this does have a heater. I thought maybe the heater matrix is blocked, so I disconnected the pipes that feed that. And the coolant was flowing into it and flowing out of it, so there's no blockage, or it doesn't appear to be. And the water pump, that was my next suggestion, but if the water's getting around the engine, the water pump must be working. So I don't think that needs changing, but like I said recently, I've joined the owners club, and apart from this, including the spares I've got coming with it, is a new thermostat, so I'll change that. And then I better get onto the club and order that exhaust downpipe gasket, because I'm going to need that to change it. And do we change the entire system? The rest of it, looking at it, isn't too hot. It's had a few patches in the past. It's a bit of a sorry state, unfortunately. So, God, there's a lot of pollen today. Oh yeah, with that exhaust blow, it's really down on power. Doesn't like that at all. I'll take a slightly longer route home and just see if she gets a bit hot again. I'm hoping not. Sounds cool though. Shame about the exhaust, but it's an old car, things are going to happen. Sounds a bit hot rod actually, it's pretty cool. Why is it when people with SUVs, they drive in the middle of the bloody road? Well, made it back with no dramas luckily, but before I get out of the car, I thought I'd just show you the couple of bits I've added since you last saw the vehicle. Check this out. Yes, it's a period correct rear view mirror, something I really wanted to get for the vehicle because I was struggling with the lack of any visibility. And also on that note, we now have a wing mirror. Check that out. And then there's the lack of any speedo. A couple of people noted in the video, in the test drive, that it wasn't working. I thought I actually got to the bottom of it the other day. I took this glove box or parcel shelf out, got my hand around the back and found the cable, and it wasn't connected. I thought, so managed to get that hooked back up, took it for a test drive, and sadly it still doesn't work. So I'm hoping it's not the gearbox fault. I'm hoping it's not a gearbox fault, but one thing at a time, baby steps and all that, but at least we can see where we've been. Yeah, like I was saying, we had the issue of it overheating the other day after a good run, but you can see where it's coming out there. It's just boiled over. Still got fluid this time, but yeah. Yes, the top and bottom radiator hoses are getting hot, so the coolant is obviously circulating, but don't know. Like I said, I did think it might be the heater core and the heater matrix for the heater, but again, they're both red hot. I did have these hoses off one by one, and they were circulating water, so I know the issue's not there. Which sometimes these get bypassed because of this, but not sure. Let me know what you think in the comments, guys. I'm hoping it's not a head gasket. That'd be a pain in the arse, but no more little drives for the moment. I'm just going to park this up until I can get the exhaust sorted. Keep an eye on the brakes, because I don't think they're still 100%. At least we've got no brake fluid leaks. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching. I should see you soon with some more content on Stan and George. Until then, take care, drive safe, and don't forget your tea. See you soon. Bye. Oh yeah, we now have working wipers. Woo!